Hello science buddies, welcome to the class, and today we are going to study about the circulatory system. Our respiratory and circulatory system actually work together to bring oxygen to all the body cells and to carry carbon dioxide away from the cells. To transport nutrients and oxygen to all the body parts, and it is also the transport system for carbon dioxide to the parts from where it can be eliminated. Circulatory system has a special job of moving blood throughout your body. So it consists of heart, blood and blood vessels. Blood carries nutrients to the body cell and remove waste product from the cell. It is an amazing pump, and I will discuss the structure of the heart later on, but first of all we should know what are the blood vessels and what their types, and then what constitutes the blood, and then we will move forward to the actual working of the heart. So basically blood vessels are of three types. The arteries, veins and capillaries. Artery carry oxygenated blood, which is oxygen rich blood, away from the heart to all the body parts. So as they are carrying the blood from the heart, so they have very thick and elastic muscular wall to withstand the high blood flow. Veins carry deoxygenated blood or oxygen low blood toward the heart. From the body parts, it brings blood to the heart. So they have thinner walls and larger lumens. They have low blood flow. And capillaries are the blood vessels where actual exchange of nutrients like carbon dioxide, oxygen and nutrients take place. So they connect the arteries and vein. They are present in almost all the cells, and they have walls only 1 cell thick. They allow the exchange of oxygen, carbon dioxide and glucose. Here you can see the structure of the arteries, veins and capillaries and how they are connected. Arteries carry blood rich in oxygen away from the heart. They have very thick walls. Veins carry blood poor in oxygen toward the heart, and they have thinner walls than arteries. Whereas the capillaries, they join arteries and veins, and capillaries have very thin walls, and this allows the substances to move into and out of the blood easily. In the lungs, oxygen and carbon dioxide move between the blood sacs and the blood vessels like capillaries. So now the heart. Basically, our heart is an amazing pump. It has the right and left sides, and the right side of the heart collects the bloods from the body, whereas the left side of the heart carries the oxygen-rich blood to all the body parts, other organ systems of the body. Blood returning from the body enters the right side of the heart here. And the large blood vessels called veins bring oxygen-poor blood from the body to the right side of the heart. The large blood vessels called arteries, they carry oxygen-rich blood from the left side of the heart to the body. The right pump sends blood to the lung, and in the lung the carbon dioxide leaves and the oxygen enter the blood. And here you can see blood from the lungs enter the left side of the heart. So basically our heart has two atrium and two ventricles. So basically 4-chambered heart. The two atria actually receive the blood, okay? And the ventricles actually distribute the blood. Pumps the blood to your lungs. From the right ventricle, it goes to the lungs, and from the lungs, the exchange of carbon dioxide and oxygen take place. So the oxygen-rich blood come back to the left atrium, and from the left atrium, it goes to the left ventricle, and from the left ventricle, it goes to the aorta, and from the left side, oxygen-rich blood goes to the all body. Wall of muscle separate the two pumps so that there is no mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. Each side of heart has two chambers, as I have told you, an atrium and ventricle. Each ventricle receive blood coming into the heart, whether it is oxygenated or deoxygenated blood. But you have to remember, atrium receive the blood, whereas the ventricular distribute the blood. Right atrium receive oxygen deficient blood. It goes to the right ventricle, and from the right ventricle it goes to the lungs, and from the lungs it brings back oxygen rich blood to the left atrium. and from the left atrium it goes to the left ventricle, and from the left ventricle it goes to the aorta. and from the aorta it pumps to the rest of the body. Now you should know what's inside your blood. Our blood contains red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. Red blood cells, they are specialized cells to carry oxygen using the hemoglobin, whereas the white blood cells, they are called the body soldiers because they fight the germs and infection. And platelets are tiny fragments that help blood to clot in order to stop bleeding whenever there is an injury. Now come to the type of circulatory system. There are two types of circulatory system, open and closed. And the closed circulatory system can be either single or double. Mostly in invertebrates like arthropods and mollusks, they have an open circulatory system. The circulating fluid leaves the vessels to bath the organisms, tissues with oxygen and nutrients, and then after the exchange of nutrients and oxygen, the liquid is drawn back to the vessels. And they have the heart, which is filled with holes, so that the blood pumps to the circulatory fluid to the tissues. And after the circulatory fluid is transported through the vessels to the tissues where the substances are exchanged, and this is the open circulatory system of arthropods. Whereas circulatory system of most animals, including the human beings, they are closed. And they are also found in some invertebrates like annelids. Circulatory fluid is only found inside the vessels. The exchange of substances take place through the walls of smallest vessels called capillary. The closed circulatory system is also of two types, single and double. In single circulatory system, the blood only passes once to the heart, and then it goes directly to the different organs of the body. But in double circulatory system, like in human beings, the blood passes twice to the heart. As I have told you, the right side of the heart receive the oxygen deficient blood, and then from the heart the blood goes to the lungs to get oxygen, and from the lungs it come back to the heart. So the blood passes twice the heart, so that's why it is called as double circulation. And from the heart, then again it goes it goes to the rest of the body. We can call this as pulmonary circulatory system and systemic circulatory system. So in pulmonary circulatory system, it sends blood to the lung to pick the oxygen, and whereas in systemic circulation, the oxygen rich blood goes to the whole body organ. So here in this diagram you can also easily see that from the heart the blood is going to the lungs to receive oxygen. So this is called as pulmonary circulation. Whereas in systemic circulation, the blood is going from the heart to the all body organs where the capillaries are present to in order to help the exchange of nutrients, carbon dioxide, and and oxygen. So here you can also understand what's going on. So from the heart, blood pumps to the lungs for oxygen, and oxygen is provided by the to the blood by lungs, and it is then carried back to the heart by blood vessels, and from the heart it goes to the rest of the body. To the oxygen rich blood goes to the rest of the body through arteries. Now in this also you can understand the working of the heart again. So this is the flow chart that describe that. Here you can see these are the atria and these are the ventricles, and here is a septum, that is a muscular muscle that is separating the red one is the oxygen rich blood, and the this one is the blue one is the oxygen deficient blood. So we can call it deoxygenated and oxygenated blood. So this muscle is separating the oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. And then there are veins. Here you can see there are the veins that are actually preventing the backflow of the blood. So here you can see that from the body, the oxygen deficient blood is coming from the big vein, which is the vena cava, to the right atrium. When the heart relaxes, the blood is transported inside, whereas the contraction of the heart pump the blood to all the body organs. So when the atrium relax, they bring in the oxygen deficient blood, deoxygenated blood, to the right atrium, and then the atrium contracts and they push the blood to the right ventricle, and the right ventricle then send blood to the lungs, and from the lungs oxygen is transported to the blood. So the oxygen rich blood now come back to the heart from the left side to the left atrium, and from the left atrium the blood goes to the left ventricle, and from the left ventricle it goes to the aorta, and aorta is the main artery that send oxygen rich blood to all body parts. Okay, understand? Now what is the heart rate? As I told you, the heart is a pumping organ and it is made up of a muscle. So our heart is always contracting and relaxing in order to get blood and in order to push the blood to all the body organs. So when the heart contracts, the blood is forced out of the heart. Okay, and when the heart relaxes, it brings the blood toward the heart. So we feel a heartbeat every time when the heart contracts to pump blood. Our heart is about the size of our fist. Okay. Place your right hand on the left side of the chest and then you can feel your heartbeat. The number of the times your heart beat in 1 minute, it is your heart rate. The heart rate of a healthy adult is about 60 to 100 times a minute, whereas the heart of the child usually beats faster. Okay, you can see that whenever you do exercise, then the muscles need more oxygen and nutrients, so the heart pumps faster to deliver them. When we are in resting state, the heart rate is around 60 to 100 times. Whenever we are doing exercise, the heart rate increases. Now, the most important part: do other animals also have a similar circulatory system like the human beings, or they have different? Birds also have some similarities with the humans. For example, they have a heart and they have blood vessels that contain the blood. So birds also have a 4-chamber heart and they have a double circulatory loop exactly like humans, and one loop pumps blood to the lungs to get oxygen, and the other loop pumps oxygen rich blood to the rest of the body. So we can say that the birds have similarities to human beings because they have 4-chambered heart and they have blood vessels and they have oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. So then comes the frogs. They also have moderate similarity to the human beings because they also have a heart and they have blood vessels that contain blood. But the difference is that their heart is 3-chambered. They have 2 atria and they have 1 ventricle because they only have 1 ventricle. So oxygen rich blood from the lung and oxygen poor blood from the body mix together before pumping out. So similarity parts, we can say that they have heart, they have blood vessel, and they have double circulation loop. For example, first blood goes to the lungs, and from the lungs it comes back and then goes to the body, other body parts. But the difference is that there is a mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. So this is the difference. Then comes the fishes. Their similarity to humans is low as compared to the birds and the frogs. They have a similarity that they have a heart and they have a blood vessels containing the blood, but their heart is only 2-chambered, 1 atrium and 1 ventricle, and a single loop circulatory system. The heart pumps deoxygenated blood to the gills and to absorb oxygen, and then from the gills the blood flow directly to the rest of the body without returning back to the heart. So we can say that they have a single circulatory system, not like human, we have double circulatory system. Okay. Now here in this chart you can easily do the comparison between the human and other animals. Here you can see that the fish, they have 2-chambered heart, they have single circulation. The amphibians have 3-chambered heart but they have double circulation, but it's incomplete because there is a mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. Have also 3-chambered heart, mostly double circulation. Birds have 4-chambered heart and that is double circulation, whereas humans and mammals have 4-chambered heart and double circulation. As I've told you before, fish 2-chambered, blood passes to the heart only once. Amphibians have 3-chambered heart, some mixing of the oxygen rich and oxygen poor blood. Reptiles have mostly 3-chambered heart, less mixing than amphibian. Whereas birds and mammals have 4-chambered heart, oxygen rich and oxygen poor blood never mix, most efficient circulatory systems. And now there should be a question: why do the humans have 4-chambered heart? A 4-chambered heart pump blood efficiently. It prevents the mixing of oxygen rich and oxygen poor blood, supplies more oxygen to the muscle and organs, and support an active lifestyle. So this is actually the revision part in which you can clearly understand the different types of blood vessels.